Hi, this is Dean Olson. I am on the phone right now with Shantell Ogden. She's a performing songwriter, and she has a new CD called Stories Behind Songs, which she just recently released. And we're talking about how she wrote it with, different collaborators. Shantell, we were talking earlier about the magic of breaking into Nashville and the songwriter market, breaking into these songwriter circles. Can you give us some insight on how a newbie can get involved in this whole magical process that goes on? Nobody really tells you where to go. Could you give me a couple tips on how do you break into the songwriting market?
Well, that's a great question, Dean, and I'm not sure, having been here for 6 years, that I've even figured it out yet.
Oh.
I think that what I have come to believe is that everybody takes a different journey.
Sure.
And that is absolutely okay. I've had friends who have moved to Nashville, who have been here for a year, who have realized that it's much more competitive than they actually thought it was, and that maybe their aspirations weren't really in line with what they really wanted to do, because there's a high price that you pay.
Yeah.
And people don't really want to talk about that, but it's a reality that, that it takes a lot more work than people realize. It takes a lot of commitment. And I think, so there are some people that will come to Nashville and they'll be here for a year and they'll realize it's kind of maybe not what they anticipated, and then they'll go back. They'll go back to where they moved here from. And at the same time, there'll be people that come here and find a way because they want it. They want to be here. They want to be writers. They want to be in the writing community, and they'll find a way to make it work.
Of course.
And I've heard of people, I'll give you a couple different examples of very different journeys that I know people have taken.
Thank you.
There's a friend of mine named ANDY GIBSON who came out to Nashville and was working at a Mexican restaurant. And at the time, John Rich, who is, of course, half of Big and Rich.
Big and Rich, yeah.
Had a very illustrious career as a songwriter. He was looking for acts that could also sing Spanish as well as English. And he found a video of Andy singing on MySpace and went to this restaurant, made a connection with him where he was working, and Andy was serving there, performing there, and John Rich signed him to a publishing deal. And for like a year, Andy, so this was like 3 months after moving to Nashville, he went and wrote songs and eventually ended up with a couple pretty major cuts, and now he's releasing his own singles the country market and doing really well, and he's working with a label.
Wow.
So that's one experience. I think I've known people that have moved to town, and 20 years later they're still writing songs and haven't really found the right connections or the right fit. I don't want to sound negative about the experience, but I think it's important to be realistic, and I think it's important to come here with a plan on how you're going to live. If I don't know any writer who's moved to Nashville that hasn't had to have some type of a day job. And I think that's a reality that sometimes people don't want to talk about either. There really aren't a lot of paying gigs in town because there's so many people who will be willing to pay for free. So anyway, again, I don't want to be negative. If you want to take
No. I see it as a positive thing because